A Promise Made. The summer air in 1941 hung warm over the dusty roads of Canton. Sunday mornings in town always carried a certain rhythm. Women in pressed dresses and wide-brimmed hats, men in polished shoes, children running up church steps before being called back by their mothers. The sound of gospel music drifted softly from the open windows of the little wooden church on the hill as people gathered for Sunday school. Standing near the front entrance was Wesley Howell. He leaned against the railing in his neatly pressed suit, trying to steady his nerves as he watched Rose walking toward the church. She wore a pale blue Sunday dress with white gloves and carried her favorite Bible close against her chest. The morning sunlight caught her smile, and for a moment, Wesley forgot every word he had planned to say. Rose noticed him immediately. "Well now," she teased warmly, "look who's standing out here looking serious this morning." Wesley smiled nervously. "Hello, Rose. You getting ready for Sunday school?" she asked. "Well, maybe." He rubbed the back of his neck. "You finally gonna convince me to attend one of your classes?" Rose laughed softly. "Maybe this is the Sunday the Lord changes your mind." "You know I like Reverend Stark's class," Wesley replied quickly. "That man teaches like he was there himself, makes the Bible come alive." Rose nodded in agreement. "That's true. Reverend Stark can surely teach." Then her expression softened as she studied Wesley's face. "But something's bothering you." Wesley's stomach tightened. Ever since hearing the news about the attack in Japan and America preparing for war, his thoughts had been racing. His best friend, John Lee Larry, had already decided they should volunteer together. Wesley believed joining the army might give him a chance at a better future, a chance to become the kind of man worthy of Rose. But saying those words aloud felt harder than facing war itself. "Well," Wesley muttered carefully, "you know it's hard hiding anything from you." Rose looked at him closely now, her eyes narrowing with curiosity. Wesley could feel his courage slipping away. "Let's talk after Sunday school," he said quickly. Rose folded her arms. "Don't play with me, Wesley." His face grew serious immediately. "Never. You know I care for you." A small silence passed between them. "I see the way you look at me," Rose admitted softly. Wesley's heart pounded. "So," he said, trying to sound calm, "meet me right here after service?" Rose still looked unsure, but she nodded. "All right." Together they entered the church. Inside, the sanctuary buzzed with life. Children shuffled into classrooms, while mothers greeted one another with hugs and hand fans fluttered against the Mississippi heat. Rose stood before her Sunday school class with confidence and grace, teaching scripture with warmth that made even restless children sit still and listen. Across the building, Wesley sat in Reverend Stark's class beside John Lee Larry. Reverend Stark spoke powerfully about promises, about how a man's word should mean something, just as God's promises never fail. Wesley listened to every word. The lesson settled deep inside him. By the time morning worship began, the church was alive with clapping hands and stomping feet. Rose sat a few pews ahead of Wesley, singing joyfully as the choir lifted an old familiar gospel hymn into the air. Wesley watched her quietly from behind, feeling more certain with every passing moment. Beside him, John Lee Larry leaned over and whispered, "Boy, if you don't tell her today, you never will." Wesley swallowed hard. After the service ended, church members slowly poured outside beneath the golden afternoon sun. Laughter and conversation filled the churchyard, while children chased one another near the oak trees. Wesley stood near the front steps with John Lee Larry when Rose approached. John Lee grinned knowingly. "I'll give y'all some privacy." As he walked away, Wesley turned toward Rose with a nervous smile. "That was a good Sunday school lesson today," he began. "And Reverend Stark, talking about promises," he paused, "made me think." Rose tilted her head. "Think about what?" The mood shifted suddenly. Wesley's confidence faded again. "You know how I feel about you," he said quietly. "And I was thinking maybe—" He stopped. Rose frowned slightly. Wesley, are you all right? Yes, he answered too quickly. Have you heard about the war? Yes, she replied carefully. Well, me and John Lee Larry are thinking about volunteering for the Army. Rose's eyes widened immediately. The Army? She whispered. Why would you do that? Wesley, people are getting killed over there. I know. Aren't you afraid? Wesley shook his head slowly. No, I think maybe fighting in the war could help me become something better. Rose stared at him, emotional now. Don't stop talking. Wesley took a long breath. Well, Rose, you know how I feel about you. You already said that. I know, he laughed nervously, but I need you to hear me. Rose stepped closer. Then say it. Wesley looked directly into her eyes, those same eyes he had loved since childhood. You're always telling me not to be afraid, he said softly. So I'm trying not to be. The wind moved gently through the trees around them. Then finally, with all the courage he had, Wesley spoke the words resting on his heart. Rose, will you marry me? Rose froze in complete surprise. Wesley continued before fear could stop him. I've known you my whole life. Our families grew up together. And the first time I ever looked into your eyes, I knew you were different. His voice trembled slightly. I want a life with you, a family, a home. Rose covered her mouth, speechless. But I want to be able to provide for you, Wesley said. That's why I'm going into the Army. I want training. I want to save money. I want to come back ready to build a life with you. He stepped closer. And I promise you, after this war, I'm coming home to marry you. Rose looked overwhelmed, caught between hope and fear. I don't believe you, she whispered. Wesley's expression sharpened with determination. You will. Before she could answer, John Lee Larry called out from down the hill. Wesley smiled one last time, then turned and ran to catch up with his friend. The two young men laughed as they disappeared down the dusty road together, their figures growing smaller beneath the orange glow of the setting Mississippi sun. Rose remained standing in front of the church alone. The evening breeze gently moved the pages of the Bible in her hands as she watched Wesley fade into the distance. And deep in her heart, one question remained. Will he keep his promise?